You should not criticize Akutami's writing if you just haven't been paying attention. With the release of Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 263, a lot of people said it was an ass pull that Todo was able to use the domain shards to use his Boogie Woogie. Except if you've been paying attention, you know exactly what a domain expansion is and why this makes complete sense. A domain is an environment constructed with cursed energy. And every single time that a domain is broken, there are shards in the entire Gojo versus Sukuna battle. And even prior to that, Yuki's domain, Mahito's domain, Yuta's domain in three-way domain expansion class, Yuta's domain again against Sukuna. And so if a domain is broken and then there are shards around every single time it breaks and it is constructed of cursed energy, then Todo's Boogie Woogie is able to register that cursed energy and swap things around. Because as we know, there are only two requirements to Boogie Woogie. One, some kind of clapping, either Vibra Slap or with his hands. And number two, he can swap things that have a cursed energy above a certain amount. Which is why Yuji would not only help by imbuing a rock with cursed energy and then throwing it so Todo can swap with it, but in the battle against Hanami, Todo was also able to swap with Playful Cloud because Playful Cloud is a cursed tool, which means it has cursed energy. And this is the problem because Akutami is actually finding really cool and inventive ways to use simple techniques or the things he's already established within the story. But because people simply aren't paying attention, they simply think it's an ass pull. People even saying things like Sukuna having Hollow Wicker Basket is an ass pull. But even before we saw Sukuna use Hollow Wicker Basket, we already knew it existed, and a description of it was the original simple domain. And Sukuna's from the Heian era, a long time ago. You don't think he would have some kind of anti-domain technique outside of his domain expansion? And people saying it was an ass pull that Gojo had Falling Blossom Motion whenever it was stated that Falling Blossom Motion was passed down through the big families. And guess what? Gojo was a part of the big family. He's the head of the Gojo clan. And this is why I say you can criticize JJK, you can criticize any series, but if you're going to criticize it, you have to know what you're talking about. Otherwise, your criticism isn't fair and doesn't make any sense.